wonderful humans. Welcome to our online performance this evening with Original Practice Shakespeare Festival. This weekend, we have a wonderful lineup for you that we have been planning and talking about for ages. We are doing Henry IV Part 1 this evening. Tomorrow evening, we're doing Henry IV Part 2, also at 6 p.m. And Sunday, we're doing Henry V at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We are going to have so much fun together. Now, a couple of things before we get started. First, we have an important acknowledgement that we are incorporating before all of our shows, and something that is very important to us as a company. We ask that you join us in acknowledging the land that we occupy and from which we work, that we have benefited from this stolen land that was cultivated with stolen labor. Oregon and Southwest Washington was the historical land of at least 10 tribes who made their homes in traditional village sites along the Columbia River and throughout both states. Many tribes also traveled and traded throughout Oregon and Washington and the plentiful natural resources of the area. So, as we move forward, we ask that you recognize these original peoples and those upon whose backs our present home was built. Now, because we're online, we actually also have some actors that are coming, because we like to say things in special ways, because Shakespeare, are coming here from Nevada and from Alaska today. So normally we're in the parks, right? And because of this wacky experience that we've all been going through together as humans, we have been online, and we can't wait to get back to the parks this summer. When you get a chance, please go to our website, check out our schedule, opsfest.org. We have a lot of fun things, 23 different shows for each performance lined up, and we can't wait to do that this summer. And right now, we are continuing with online just a little bit longer to keep things safe, make sure we're all in shape for this season. Now, for those of you that might be newer to Ops, congratulations for coming to a stretch of history plays. But let me tell you, a lot of people get really worried about that, thinking these are going to be boring. These shows are incredible fun. We're going to have a blast together. Since we are online, normally we really love audience interaction. We like to get out there. We like to joke with you. We love to hear what you're thinking of the show. So in lieu of that, whether you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube, please like, comment, boo, cheer, do whatever you can to express yourselves and engage with us. And we have company members. We have Brian Saville Allard on Facebook tonight, I believe, and Davis is on the YouTube channel. So we'll interact with you as much as we can that way as well. So please engage with us so we can continue to have the fun that we normally do. We also really believe that all of our work should be free. We want to be accessible. We want to, especially in these challenging times, give art and fun and laughter in this connecting experience, making it accessible to as many people as possible. However, doesn't mean that we don't have costs. So I want to take a second to thank all of you who make this possible. We have our season sponsors, Ronnie LaCroute, the Starseed Foundation, Oregon Community Foundation, Regional Arts and Cultural Council, Advanced Gender Equity in the Arts, and the Kinsman Foundation. So we are incredibly lucky to be the recipients from so many generous people and from audience members like you, whether it's $1 to whatever you're able to give. We so appreciate that. Normally, if we're in the parks, we pass around buckets and people drop a few coins there with our ducats in the buckets. And that's obviously a little tricky when we're doing this online. So we have a couple of ways that you can give online. No pressure at all, but if you are able to help us continue to put this work out there, we would greatly appreciate it. So a couple ways to do that. You can text OpsFest online to 44321 or check us out on opsfest.org. We have PayPal there. Also, there's donation information on whichever platform it is that you're using. Look at the top or bottom of the screen. There should be a place to click there. Now, for those of you who are joining us for maybe the first time, You may wonder, what does original practice mean? So we do Shakespeare a little bit different than you might be used to. We do Shakespeare the way that Shakespeare's actors did Shakespeare. And there are a couple pieces to that. The big thing is that Shakespeare's actors did not rehearse. What? I know. It's exciting and thrilling and sort of hard to wrap our minds around. But rehearsal hadn't been invented yet. And they really didn't have time to rehearse because they were the popular entertainment of the time. So they had to do 5, 6 different shows a week. They didn't have time to rehearse. So to help with that, actors were given their lines on scrolls like this, scroll, and they would carry these on stage with them. And so you'll see these popping in and out of the screen with our actors today. And the actors were given their lines and then just a few words. Those are our cues that let us know it's time for that line. And there are a couple reasons for this. First is there weren't copy machines. So everything had to be handwritten out, and it would be very expensive and time consuming to write the whole play many times over. Also, there were no copyright laws. So if someone had a full copy of the script, they could carry it away. They could take it to another theater company. They could say they wrote it themselves. So to, protect the work from possibly untrustworthy actors. There I go with actors again. That's just how the word is now, friends. They were just given their own lines. And so we have our lines, we study them ahead of time, but we've never rehearsed this all together. Even when we're not doing this virtually, we don't rehearse all together. We work on it on our own and we show up and we see what happens. This can lead to a little bit of wackiness, some shenanigans that happen because we don't rehearse, but we have a lot of fun with that. And to make sure that we don't totally lose our place, and to help if things go wrong, like, technical glitches, someone's internet going out, we have an onstage prompter, just like Shakespeare's actors did. And our onstage prompters is kind of like the rest of the show, keeps everything running. And I will let her tell you a little more about what she does because she is amazing, brilliant, talented, enthusiastic. Friends, let me hand it over to the amazing Hannah Rice.
Good evening, everybody. We are so happy to have you with us tonight, and I am so excited to be embarking on this very Game of Thronesian journey with you on the next couple of days. So, as the lovely Lauren said, my name is Hannah. I will be your prompter this evening, and my job is similar to that of a referee in one of those sports games my mom keeps trying to explain to me. So I'm going to make sure that everyone is playing in bounds, that they are coming on and leaving when they are supposed to, helping them out if they get a little bit lost or hung up on technical difficulties, and occasionally maybe like throwing a little rogue prompt in here and there just to keep things interesting and maybe teach us a little bit more about this interesting world. I'm especially excited to be running this one because you will see us over the next few days all carrying through the same roles, show to show to show, helping to explain the through line of this really rich and exciting trilogy that we now have the entirety of in our repertoire. So I really hope that you enjoy experiencing this with us as we are experiencing performing these shows this way for the first time ourselves as well. One of my favorite things to do when we're out in the parks is get our audience hyped up before the show. And we're going to be able to start doing that in person again pretty soon. But until then, I've been honing my telepathic skills over the last X number of months since we moved online. And I've gotten pretty good at hearing you get excited from all the way over here in my house in Northeast Portland. So let's get this started. When you see something triumphant or victorious or exciting happening on stage, we invite you to cheer in your homes or in the comments section. So we're going to practice this. Let's have all of my living room people and my bedroom people let out a big cheer right now. Go. This is a solid Friday audience. I love it. All right. So if you see something reprehensible or despicable or coup-inducing happening on stage, you're going to want to boo, right? We want you to boo anyway. So let's have all of my kitchen people and my car people and my bathroom people and my basement people. Let's all do a boo together. Ready? We've got a strong basement contingent today. I love that for us. All right, everybody, I see actors waiting in the wings, and I wanted to get this thing started. So without further ado, we present to you the first part of Henry IV with the life and death of Henry, surnamed Hotspur, by William Shakespeare, Act 1, Scene 1.
So shaken as we are, so wan with care, find we a time for frighted peace to pant. No more the thirsty entrance of this soil shall daub her lips with her own children's blood. No more shall trenching war channel her fields, nor bruise her flowerets with the armed hoofs of hostile paces. Those opposed eyes, which, like the meteors of troubled heaven, all of one nature, of one substance bred, did lately meet in the intestine shock and furious close of civil butchery, shall now in mutual well-beseeming ranks march all one way, and no more be opposed against acquaintance, kindred, and allies. The edge of war, like an ill-sheathed knife, no more shall cut his master. Therefore, friends, as far as to the sepulchre of Christ, forthwith a power of English shall we levy, whose arms were molded in their mother's womb to chase these pagans in these holy fields. Then let me hear of you, my Westmoreland, what yesternight our council did decree in forwarding this dear expedient.
A post from Wales, loaden with heavy news, whose worst was that the noble Mortimer, leading the men of Hertfordshire to fight against the irregular and wild Glendower, was by the rude hands of that Welshman taken, and 1,000 of his people butchered, upon whose dead corpses there was such misuse, such beastly, shameless transformation by those Welsh women done, as may not be without much shame retold or spoken of.
It seems then that the tidings of this broil break off our business for the Holy Land.
Far more uneven and unwelcome news came from the north, and thus it did report. On Holy Rood Day, the gallant Hotspur there, young Harry Percy, and brave Archibald, that ever valiant and approved Scot, at Holmdon met, where they did spend a sad and bloody hour.
Well, here is a dear and true industrious friend, Sir Walter Blunt, new lighted from his horse, and he hath brought us smooth and welcome news. Huh? The Earl of Douglas is discomfited. 10,000 bold Scots, 22 knights, balked in their own blood did Sir Walter see. On Holmedan's plains, of prisoners, Hotspur took Mordick, Earl of Fife, and eldest son to Beaton Douglas, and the Earl of Atholl, of Murray, Angus, and Menteith. Ha ha! Is not this an honorable spoil? A gallant prize, huh, cousin? Is it not? In faith it is.
A conquest for a prince to boast of.
Yea, there thou makest me sad and makest me sin in envy, that my lord of Northumberland should be the father of so blessed a girl, whilst I, by looking on the praise of her, see riot and dishonor stain the brow of my young Harry. Oh, that it could be proved that some night-tripping fairy had exchanged in cradle clothes our children where they lay, and called mine Percy, and his Plantagenet. Then would I have his Harry, and he mine. But let him from my thoughts. What think you, cause of this young Percy's pride? The prisoners which she in her adventure has surprised, to her own use she keeps, and sends me word I shall have none but Mordick, Earl of Fife.
This is her aunt's teaching. This is Worcester malevolent to you in all aspects.
Yeah, but I have sent for her to answer this. And for this cause a while we must neglect our holy purpose to Jerusalem. Cousin, on Wednesday next our council we will hold at Windsor. So inform the lords, but come yourself with speed to us again, for more is to be said, and more is to be done than out of anger can be uttered.
I will, my liege.
Oh! Oh, now! Ow! Hey, what time of day is it, girl?
Thou art so fat-witted with drinking of old sack and unbuttoning thee after supper, and sleeping upon benches in the afternoon, that thou hast forgotten to demand that truly, which thou wouldst truly know. What a devil hast thou to do with the time of the day?
Indeed.
Unless hours were cups of sack,
Oh.
and minutes capons, and clocks, the tongues of bawds. Oh, and the blessed sun himself, a fair, hot, wrenching, flame-colored taffeta. I see no reason why thou shouldst be so superfluous to demand the time of the day.
Oh, well, indeed, you come near me now, Hal. For we that take purses go by the moon and 7 stars, and not by Phoebus he, the wandering knight so fair. And I prithee, sweet wagger, when thou art king, as God save thy grace. Majesty, I should say, for grace thou wilt have none.
What, none?
Well, no, not so much as we will serve to be a prologue to an egg and butter.
Oh, well, how then? Come, roundly.
Oh, right there is your roundly. I got it right here. Very then. Oh, sweet wag, when thou art king, let not us that are squires of the night body be called thieves of the day, beauty. Let us be Diana's foresters, gentlemen and, gentlewomen of the shade, minions of the moon, and let men say we be men of good government, quiet dogs, being governed as the sea is by our noble and chaste mistress, the moon, under whose countenance we steal.
Thou sayest well. And it holds well too, for the fortune of us that are the moon's folk doth ebb and flow like the sea, being governed as the sea is by the moon.
Oh, thou sayest true, Hal. And is not my hostess of the tavern a most sweet wench?
Why, what a pox have I to do with my hostess of the tavern?
Oh, well, thou hast called her to a reckoning, a time and a half.
Did I ever call for thee to pay thy part?
Oh, no. I'll give thee the due. Thou hast paid all there.
Yea, and elsewhere. And so far as my coin would stretch, and where it would not, I have used my credit.
Oh, yea, and so used it that were it here apparent that thou art heir apparent in England when thou art my goodness, prompter.
Hi,
Figure it out.
Great, but I prithee, sweet wag.
That's it. Thank you, prompter. But I prithee, sweet wag, shall there be gallows standing in England when thou art king? Do not thou, when thou art a king, hang a thief.
No.
No.
Thou shalt.
Oh, shall I? Oh, where? Oh, I'll be a brave judge.
Oh, thou judgest false already. I mean, thou shalt have the hanging of the thieves, and so become a rare hangman.
Oh, well, how well, in some sort it jumps with my humor, as well as a waiting in the court. Oh, I can tell you.
For obtaining of suits?
Well, yea, for obtaining of suits, whereof the hangman hath no lean wardrobe. See, thou hast the most unsavory smiles, and art indeed the most comparative, rascalous, sweet young prince. An old lord of the council rated me the other day in the street about you, Hal, but I marked him not. And yet he talked very wisely, but I regarded him not, and yet he talked wisely, and in the street too.
Thou didst well, for no man regards it.
Oh, I must give over this life, and I will give it over, and I do not. I am a villain.
Where shall we take a purse tomorrow, Jack?
Well, where thou wilt, Hal. I'll make one, and I do not call me a villain and baffle me.
I see a good amendment of life in thee, from praying to purse taking.
Oh, why, Hal, 'tis my vocation, Hal. 'Tis no sin for a man to labor in his vocation, or a girl either, I would say.
Oh, if man or a girl were to be saved by merit, what all in hell were hot enough for him? This is the most omnipotent villain that ever cried, "Stand to a true man."
Oh, good morrow, Ned.
Good morrow, sweet Al. Bah! Bah! What says Monsieur Remorse? How says Sir John Sack and Sugar Jack? How agrees the devil and thee about thy soul that thou soldest him on Good Friday last for a cup of Madeira and a cold capon's leg?
Sir John stands to his word. The devil shall have his bargain, for he was never yet a breaker of proverbs. He will give the devil his due.
Oh, then thou art damned for keeping thy word with the devil.
Who else is damned for cozening the devil?
But, my friends, tomorrow morning by 4 o'clock, early at Gad's Hill, there are pilgrims going to Canterbury with rich offerings and traders riding to London with fat purses. I have visits for you all. You have horses for yourselves. I have bespoke supper tomorrow in Eastcheap. We may do it as secure as sleep. If you will go, I will stuff your purses full of crowns. If you will not, tarry at home and be hanged.
Oh, hear ye, Edward. If I tarry at home and go not, well, I'll hang you for going.
Oh, you will, chops.
Oh, hell. Hey, wilt thou make one?
Who, I? Rob? No, my name's Henry. I, a thief? Not I.
Oh, there's neither honesty, personhood, or good fellowship in thee. Nor thou camest not of the blood royal, if thou darest not stand for 10 shillings.
Oh, well then, once in my days I'll be a madcap.
Why, that's well said.
Well, come what will, I'll tarry at home.
Oh, be a traitor then, when thou art king.
I care not.
Sir John, I prithee, leave the prince and me alone. I will lay down such reasons for this adventure that she shall go.
Oh, well, mayst thou have the spirit of persuasion, and she the ears of profiting, that what thou speakst may move, and what she hears may be believed, that the true prince may for recreation's sake prove a false thief, for the pure abuses of the time want continence. Farewell, you shall find me at Eastcheap.
Farewell, the latter spring. Farewell, old Holland summer.
Now, my good, sweet honey lord, ride with us tomorrow. I have a jest to execute that I cannot manage alone. Falstaff, Peto, and Bardolph shall rob those men. Yourself and I, we will not be there. And when they have the booty, if you and I do not rob them, cut this head from my shoulders.
But how shall we part with them in setting forth?
Oh, why, we will set forth before or after them, and appoint them a place of meeting, wherein it is at our pleasure to fail.
Aye, but 'tis like they will know us by our horses, by our habits, and by every other appointment to be ourselves.
Our horses they shall not see. I'll tie them in the wood. Our vizards, we will change them after we leave them. And Sirrah, I have cases of buckram for the nonce to enmask our noted outward garments.
but I doubt they will be too hard for us.
Well, for two of them, I know them to be as true-bred cowards as ever turned back. And for the third, if he fight longer than he sees reason, I'll forswear arms. The virtue of this jest will be the incomprehensible lies that this fat rogue will tell us when we meet at supper. How 30 at least he fought with, what wards, what woes, what extremities he endured, and in the reproof of this lies the jest.
Well, I'll go with the provide us all things necessary and meet me tomorrow night in Eastcheap. There I'll sup. Farewell.
Farewell, my lord. Woo!
I know you all will a while uphold the unyoked humor of your idleness, yet herein will I imitate the sun, who doth permit the base contagious clouds to smother up her beauty from the world, that when she please again to be herself, being wanted, she may be more wondered at by breaking through the foul and ugly mists of vapors that did seem to strangle her. If all the year were playing holidays, to sport would be as tedious as to work. But when they seldom come, they wished for come, and nothing pleaseth but rare accidents. So, when this loose behavior I throw off and pay the debt I never promised it, by how much better than my word I am. By so much shall I falsify men's hopes, and like bright metal on sullen ground, my reformation glittering o'er my faults shall shew more goodly and attract more eyes than that which hath no foil to set it off. I'll so offend to make offense a skill, redeeming time when men think least I will.
My blood hath been too cold and temperate, inapt to stir at these indignities, and you have found me, for accordingly you tread upon my patience. But be sure, I will from henceforth rather be myself, mighty and to be feared, than my condition which hath been smooth as oil, soft as young down, and therefore lost the title of respect, which the proud soul ne'er pays, but to the proud.
Our house, my sovereign liege, little deserves the scourge of greatness to be used on it, and that same greatness too, which our own hands have hope to make so portly.
My lord.
Worcester, get thee gone, for I do see danger and disobedience in thine eye. You have good leave to leave us. When we need your use and counsel, we shall send for you. You were about to speak.
Yea, my good lord, these prisoners in your highness demanded, which Harry Piercy here at Holmdon took, where, as she says, was not with such strength denied.
My liege, I did deny no prisoners. I remember when the fight was done, and I was dry with rage and extreme toil, breathless and faint, leaning upon my sword, there came this certain lord, neat and trimly dressed, fresh as a bridegroom, and his chin, new reaped, shewed like the stubble land at harvest home. He was perfumed like a milliner. And as the soldiers bear dead bodies by, he calls them untaught knaves, unmannerly, to bring a slovenly, unhandsome course betwixt the wind and his nobility. With many a holiday and lady term, he questioned me, amongst the rest demanded my prisoners in your majesty's behalf, I then, all smarting, my wounds still being cold, to be so pestered with a popinjay, out of my grief and impatient, answered neglectingly, I know not what he should or should not. He made me mad. To see him smile so sweet and shine so brisk and talk so like a waiting gentlewoman of guns and drums and wounds. God save the mark, so cowardly. Oh, and but for all these vile guns, he would himself have been a soldier. This bald, unjointed chat of his, my lord, made me to answer indirectly, as I said. I beseech you, let not this report come current for an accusation betwixt myself, my love, and your high majesty.
The circumstance considered, good my lord, whatever Harry Percy then had said to such a person and in such a place at such a time with all the rest retold may reasonably die and never rise to do her wrong or any way impeach what then she said, so she unsay it now.
Why yet doth she deny her prisoners, but with proviso and exception, that we at our own charge shall ransom straight her brother-in-law, the foolish Mortimer, who in my soul hath willfully betrayed the lives of those that he did lead to fight against the great magician, damned Glendower, whose daughter, as we hear, this Mortimer has lately married. Shall our coffers then be emptied to redeem a traitor home? Shall we buy treason and indent with fears? No, on the barren mountain, let him stir. For I shall never hold that man my friend, whose tongue shall ask me for 1 penny cost to ransom home revolted Mortimer.
Revolted Mortimer? He never did fall off, my sovereign liege, but by the chance of war. To prove that true, in single opposition, hand to hand, did he confound the best part of an hour in changing a hardiment with the great Glendower.
Thou dost belie him, Percy. Thou dost belie him. He never did encounter with Glendower. I tell thee, he durst as well have met the divil alone as Owen Glendower for an enemy. Art thou not ashamed? But, sirrah, henceforth, let me not hear you speak of Mortimer. Send me your prisoners with the speediest means, or you shall hear in such kind from me as will displease ye. My lord Northumberland, we license your departure with your child. Send us your prisoners, or you'll hear of it.
And if the devil come and roar for them, I will not send them. I will after him straight and tell him so, for it will ease my heart, although it be with hazard of my head.
What, drunk with choler? Stay and pause a while. Here comes your auntie.
Speak of Mortimer? Yea, I will speak of him. And let my soul want mercy if I do not join with him. In his behalf, I'll empty all these veins and shed my dear blood drop by drop in the dust. But I will lift the downfallen Mortimer as high in air as this unthankful king, as this ingrate and cankred Bolingbroke.
Sister, the king hath made your dear niece mad.
He will forsooth have all my prisoners. And when I urged him once again for the ransom of my wife's brother, then his cheek looked pale, and on my face he turned an eye of death, trembling even at the name of Mortimer.
I cannot blame him. Was he not proclaimed by Richard that dead is the next of blood?
He was, I heard the proclamation.
But soft, I pray, did King Richard then proclaim my brother Mortimer heir to the crown?
He did. Myself did hear it.
Nay then, I cannot blame his cousin king that wished him barren on the mountains starved. But shall it be? that you that set the crown upon the head of this forgetful man, and for his sake wore the detested blood of murderous subornation, shall it be that you a world of curses undergo? Shall it be for shame in days spoken, or fill up chronicles in time to come, that ones of your nobility and power did engage them both in an unjust behalf, as both of you, God pardon it, have done, to put down Richard, that sweet and lovely rose, and plant this thorn, this canker, Bolingbroke? And shall it in more shame be further spoken that you are fools, discarded and shook off by him for you whom these shames underwent? No. Yet time serves wherein you may redeem your banished honors and restore yourselves in the good thoughts of the world again. Revenge the jeering and disdained contempt of this proud king, who studies day and night to answer all the debt he owes unto you, even with the bloody payment of your debts. Therefore I say,
peace, cousin, say no more.
Oh, imagination of some great exploit drives her beyond the bounds of patience.
Good cousin, give me audience for a while.
I cry you mercy.
Those same noble Scots that are your prisoners.
Oh, I'll keep them all. By heaven, he shall not have a Scot of them. No, if a Scot should save his soul, he shall not. I'll keep them by this hand.
You start away and lend no ear unto my purposes. Those prisoners you shall keep.
Oh, nay. Oh, I will. That is flat. He said he would not ransom Mortimer, forbade my tongue to speak of Mortimer. But I will find him when he lies asleep, and in his ear I'll holler, Mortimer! Nay, I'll have a startling shall be taught to speak nothing but Mortimer, and give it him to keep his anger still in motion.
Hear you, cousin, a word.
All studies. Here I solemnly defy, save how to gull and pinch this Bolingbroke. And that same sword buckler, the Prince of Wales. But that I think her father loves her not, and would be glad she met with some mischance, would have poisoned her with a pot of ale.
Farewell, kinsman. I'll talk to you when you are tempered to attend.
Oh, why? What?
Sir,
A what?
Hold on just a second. I've got a question for the Earl of Worcester. You've been listening very patiently to everything that lovely Hotspur has said. You seem like a pretty sensible person, but you got kicked out of the conversation with the king, and you're trying to get a word in edgewise. Do you feel like you're on the right side of this kind of bickering that's happening?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look, he kicked me out. So, I was just being there. I was listening, and anyway, yes, I'm on the right side of history on this. Believe you me, you'll see.
And are you ready to follow Hotspur wherever she's heading with her starlings and her poisoned apples?
Well, it's the best course of action for me at this time. Like I said, you just see, I'm sure it works out for me in the end.
I'm going to take your word for it. Let's go from farewell, kinsman.
Oh, that's me. Farewell, kinsman. I'll talk to you when you are better tempered to attend.
Why, what a wasp-tongued and impatient fool art thou to break into this woman's mood, tying thine ear to no tongue but thine own.
Why, look you, I am whipped and scourged with rods, nettled and stung with pismires when I hear of this vile politician Bolingbroke. Good auntie, tell your tale. I have done.
Nay, if you have not, to it again will stay your leisure.
I have done, in sooth.
Then once more to your Scottish prisoners, deliver them up without their ransom straight, and make the Douglas son your only mean for powers in Scotland.
Why, we cannot choose but be a noble plot.
The king will always think him in our debt, and we think ourselves unsatisfied till he hath found a time to pay us home. And see already how he doth begin to make us strangers to his looks of love.
He does, and we'll be revenged on him.
Cousin, farewell. No further go in this than I, by letters, shall direct your course. When time is ripe, which will be suddenly, I'll steal to Glendower and Low Mortimer, where you and Douglas and our powers at once, as I will fashion it, shall happily meet to bear our fortunes in our own strong arms, which now we hold at much uncertainty.
Farewell, good brother. We shall thrive, I trust.
Auntie, adieu. Oh, let the hours be short till fields and blows and groans applaud our sport.
Come, shelter. I have removed Falstaff's horse.
Stand close.
Points! And behave, points!
Peace, you fat kidneyed.
Oh, peace, you fat kidneyed rascal! What rolling dost thou keep?
Oh, what points? How?
Oh, he is walked up to the top of the hill. I'll go seek him.
Oh, I am accursed to rob in that thief company. Oh, that rascal hath removed my horse and tied him I know not where. I mean, if I travel but 4 foot by the squire further afoot, I shall break my wind. Oh, well, I doubt not, but to die a fair death for all this. Oh, if I escape hanging for killing that rogue. What do I say next?
I have forsworn
his company hourly. Anytime this 22 year, and yet I am bewitched with the rogue's company. Well, if the rascal had not given me medicines to make me love her, I'll be hanged. It could not be else. Well, I've drunk medicines. Points! How? Ooh, a plague on you both! Fight off! Beat Oh, I'll starve ere I rub a foot further! He jars on uneven ground. It's 70 miles afoot with me! Oh, and the stony-hearted villain! Know it well enough. A plague upon it! All thieves cannot be true to another. Ha! 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 No! A plague light upon you all! Give my horse a road! Give me my horse and be hanged!
No, peace, you fat guns, lie down. Lie behind here, close to the ground, and list if thou can hear the tread of travelers.
Oh, have you any levers to lift me up, being down? Oh, I'll not bear my own flesh so far afoot again. Oh, for all the coins in thy father's exchequer. Oh, plague mean you to coat me thus?
Oh, liest! Thou art not colted. Thou art uncolted.
Good prince, how? Help me to my horse, good king's daughter.
You rogue, shall I be your ostler?
Oh, go hang thyself in thine own heir-apparent garters. Yeah, let a cup of sack be my poison when a jest is so forward and a foot too. I hate it.
You 3 shall front them in the narrow lane. Ned and I will walk lower. If they escape from your encounter, then they light on us.
But how many of them?
I don't, I don't.
We might have done a little bit of foreshadowing here. Bardolph, I've got you staying stand.
A stand?
So I will do against my will.
"'Tis our setter! I know his voice! Bardolph, What news?
Casey, on with your visitors. There's money of the king's coming down the hill, just going to the king's exchequer.
Oh, you lie, you rogue! It is going to the king's tavern.
That's enough to make us all.
Oh, yeah. To be hanged.
You three
that
shall
was
front them.
To be hanged, yes.
Hal, you can tell your secret now. You three shall front them.
I see. Okay. We're just getting the plan really laid out here. Okay. So look, you three shall front them in the narrow lane, as I said.
Oh,
Ned and I will walk lower, yeah? And if they escape from your encounter, then they light on us, okay?
But how many be of them?
Some 8 or 10.
Oh, no, will they not rob us?
Oh, what? A coward, Sir John Punch.
Oh, wait. Oh, indeed, I am not John of Gaunt, your grandfather, but yet no coward, Hal.
We'll leave that to the proof.
Yeah.
Sirrah Jack, your horse stands behind the hedge. When thou needst him, there thou shalt find him. Farewell, and stand fast.
Oh, no, I cannot strike him if I should be hanged.
Ned, where are our disguises?
Okay, here we go.
Oh, here, hard by. Stand close.
All right, okay. Now, my masters, happy man be his dole, say I. Every person to their business.
Come, neighbor. The boys shall lead our horses down the hill. We'll walk afoot a while and ease our legs.
Aha! Oh! Hee! Ah! Strike them down with them! Cut the villains' throats, horse and caterpillars! Bacon-fed knaves, they hate us, youth! Down with them! Fleece them! East them!
Oh, we are undone! Both we and ours forever!
Oh, hang you! Gore-bellied knaves, are you undone? Oh, no, you fat chuffs! I would your store were here! Horn, bacon, onion knaves! Woo! Come, my masters! Woo! Let us share! And then to the horses before day. And the Brits and points be not two errant cowards. Oh, there's no equity stirring.
Your money! Where are we?
Got with much ease. You got with so much ease you lost your spot.
Now, merrily to horse, the thieves are scattered. Away, good Ned. False thou sweats to death. Were it not for laughing, I should pity him.
Oh, how the rogue roared.
But for mine own part, my lord, I could be well contented to be there in respect of the love I bear your house. He could be contented. Why is he not then? Sure's in this that he loves his own barn better than he loves our house. Let me see some more. The purpose you undertake is dangerous. Why, that's certain. 'Tis dangerous to take a cold, to sleep, to drink. But I tell you this, my lord fool, out of this nettle, danger, we pluck this flower, safety. The purpose you undertake is dangerous. The friends you have named uncertain, the time itself unsorted, and your whole plot too light for the counterpoise of so great an opposition. Say you so? Say you so? I say to you again, you are a shallow, cowardly fool. And you lie. What a lack brain is this? I protest our plot is as good as a plot ever was laid. Our friends, true and constant, a good plot. Good friends. A full expedition, an excellent plot. Very good friends. By this hand, if I were now by this rascal, I could brain him with his lady's fan. Is there not my father, my auntie, myself, and Lord Edward Mortimer? My Lord of York and Owen Glendower? Is not there besides the Douglas? Very sincerity of fear and cold heart. Oh, he will to the king and open our proceedings. Hang him. And let him tell the king we are prepared. And we'll set forward tonight. How now, Kate? I must leave you within these 2 hours.
Oh, my good lord, why are you thus alone? For what offense have I this fortnight been a banished woman from my Harry's bed? Tell me, sweet love, what is that takes from thee thy stomach, pleasure, and thy golden sleep? Why hast thou lost the fresh blood in thy cheeks, and given my treasures and my rights of thee to thick-eyed musing and cursed melancholy? Some heavy business hath my lord in hand, and I must know it, else she loves me not.
What sayest thou, my lady?
What is it carries you away?
Oh, my horse, my love, my horse.
You mad-headed ape. A weasel hath not such a deal of spleen as you are tossed with. In sooth, I'll know your business, Harry, that I will.
Oh?
I fear my brother Mortimer doth stir about his title, and hath sent for you to line his enterprise. But if you go,
Oh, so far afoot, I shall be weary, love.
Come, you parakeeto, answer me directly unto this question that I shall ask. Indeed, I'll break thy little finger, Harry, if thou wilt not tell me true.
Away, you trifler. Love? I love thee not. I care not for thee, Kate. This is no world to play mammoths with and to tilt with lips. You must have bloody noses and cracked crowns. What sayest thou, Kate? What wouldst thou have with me?
Do ye not love me? Do ye not indeed? Well, do not then, for since you love me not, I will not love myself. Do you not love me? Nay, tell me if thou speakst in jest or no.
Wilt thou see me ride? And when I am a horseback, I will swear I love thee infinitely. But hark you, Kate, I cannot have you question me whither I go, nor reason whereabouts. Whither I must, I must. And to conclude, this evening must I leave thee, gentle Kate. I know you wise, but yet no further wise than Harry Percy's wife. Constant you are, but yet inconstant. And for secrecy, no lady closer, for I believe thou wilt not utter what thou dost not know. And so far will I trust thee, gentle Kate.
How so far?
Not an inch further. But hark you, Kate, whither I go, thither shall you go too. Today I will set forth, tomorrow you. Will this content you, Kate?
It must, of course.
Ned!
Oh.
Prithee, come out of that room and lend me thy hand to laugh a little.
Where hast been, Hal?
Ned, To drive away time till Falstaff come, I prithee, do stand in some by-room while I question my puny drawer to what end he gave me the sugar, and do never leave calling Francis. His tale to me may be nothing but anon. Step aside, step aside.
Francis!
Thou art perfect.
Francis!
Anon, sir.
Come hither, Francis.
My lord.
How long hast thou to serve, Francis?
Forsooth 5 years is as much as 2.
Francis!
Anon, sir.
5 years? Our lady, a long lease for the clinking of pewter.
Francis!
Anon, sir.
How old art thou, Francis?
Let me see. About Michaelmas next I shall be.
Francis!
Anon, sir. Sir, I pray you stand a little, my lord.
Nay, but hark you, Francis. For the sugar thou gavest to me, 'twas a pennyworth, was not?
Oh Lord, I would have been too.
I will give thee for it 1,000 pounds. Ask me when thou wilt, and thou shalt have it.
Francis!
Anon.
Anon, Francis? No, Francis, but tomorrow, Francis, or Francis on Thursday, or indeed, Francis, when thou wilt. But Francis.
My lord.
Francis!
Anon, sir.
Dost thou hear them call?
Francis!
What? Standst thou still and hear such a calling? Look to the guests within! My lord, old Sir John with 6 more are at the door. Shall I let them in?
I'll let them alone a while and then open the door. Points.
Anon, sir.
Sarah, the Falstaff and the rest of the thieves are at the door. Shall we be merry?
As merry as crickets, my friend.
What's o'clock, Francis?
Francis! Enter
Francis!
What?
Francis!
You have to tell them anon, sir, again.
Anon.
What's o'clock, that ever this fellow should have fewer words than a parrot. I am not yet of Percy's mind, the Hotspur of the North. She that kills me some 6 or 7 dozen of Scots at a breakfast, washes her hands, and says to her wife, "Fie upon this quiet life, I want work." "Oh, my sweet Harry," says she, "how many hast thou killed today?" I prithee call in Falstaff, call in Ribs, call in Tallow.
Welcome, Jack. Where hast thou been?
A plague of all cowards, I say to vengeance to Mary and amen. Oh, give me a cup of sack, boy. Oh, plague of all cowards. Give me a cup of sack, rogue. Come here.
Thou never see Titan kiss a dish of butter.
You rogue. Oh, there's lime in this. There's lime in this sack too. Oh, there's nothing but roguery to be found in a villainous man. Yet a coward is worse than a cup of sack with lime. Oh, a villainous coward. Go thy ways, old Jack. Die when thou wilt. Manhood, good manhood, be not forgot upon the face of the earth. Oh, that I am a shotten heron, and there lives not 3 good men unhanged in England. Oh, the while in a bad world, I say. A plague of all cowards, I say still.
How now, Woolsack? What mutter you?
Oh, a king's daughter! If I do not beat thee out of thy kingdom with a dagger lath, and then drive all thy subjects before thee like a flock of wild geese, I'll never wear hair on my face more! Oh, you Prince of Wales!
Why, you horsing round man? What's the matter?
Are you not a coward? You answer me that and points there.
Oh. You fat sponge! You call me coward, I'll stab thee.
Oh, I called thee coward? I see the damned air. I call thee coward, but I would give 1,000 pound I could run as fast as thou canst. Call you that backing of your friends, or plague upon such backing? Give me that will face me. Give me a cup of sack. I am a rogue. Am I drunk today?
Oh, villain! Thy lips are scarce wiped since thou drunkst last.
Oh, ha, 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 ha. All's one for that.
Woo! Oh, it's still going down. Woo. Ah.
A plague of all coward, still, say I.
What's the matter?
What's the matter? Here be 3 of us. I've taken 1,000 pound this morning.
Oh, where is it, Jack?
Well, where is it? Well, taken from us.
No.
It is 100 upon poor 3 of us.
What? 100, man?
I am a rogue. If we're not at half sword, with a dozen of them 2 hours together, I've escaped by miracle. I am 8 times thrust through the doublet, 4 through the hose, my sword hacked like a handsaw. I never dealt better since I was a man. All would not do, a plague of all cowards. Let them speak if they speak more or less the truth. They are villains and the sons of darkness.
Speak, sirs, how was it?
We 3 set upon some dozen.
Oh, 16 at least, Lord.
And bound them.
No, they were not bound.
Oh, you rogue, they were bound, every man of them. Come on. Come on.
As we were sharing, some 6 or 7 fresh men set upon us.
Oh, and unbound the rest, and then come in the other.
What? Fought ye with them all?
Oh, I know not you call all, but if I fought not with 50 of them, I'm a bunch radish. If there were not 2 or 3 and 50 upon poor old Jag, then I am no 2-legged creature.
Pray Evan, you have not murdered some of them.
What? Oh, nay, that's past praying for I have peppered 2 of them. Yeah, 2, I'm sure. Well, I have paid 2 rogues in buckram suits. I'll tell thee what, Hal. 4 rogues in buckram let drive at me.
What, 4?
Oh, 4, Hal.
2 even now.
4! Hal, I told thee 4.
Aye. You said 4.
Yep, that's these 4. They came all a front and mainly thrust at me. See, I made no more ado, but took all their 7 points in my target thus.
7. Why, there were 4, but even now.
In buckram?
Aye, 4 in buckram suits.
Right. 7 by these hilts, or I'm a villain else.
Oh, prithee, let him alone. We shall have more anon.
Dost thou hear me, Hal?
Aye, and mark thee too, Jack.
Oh, do so, for it is worth the listening to. These 9 in Buckram that I told thee of. See, oh, God, I got something more to drink here. What?
So 2 more, Prince.
Oh, yes.
2 more already.
With their points being broken.
Oh, fellas, those
began to give me ground, but I followed me close, came in foot and hand, and with a thought, 7 of the 11 I paid.
Oh, monstrous! 11 buckram men grown out of 2.
Oh, but as the devil would have it, 3 misbegotten knaves in Kendall Green, came at my back and let drive at me, for it was so dark, Al, that thou could not see thy hand.
These lies are like the father that begets them.
What?
Gross as a mountain, open, palpable. Why, thou clay-brained guts, thou naughty-pated fool, thou horse and obscene, greasy tallow catch.
What, art thou mad? Art thou mad? Is not the truth.
Why, how couldst thou know these men in Kendall Green when it was so dark? That thou couldst not see thy hand. Come, tell us your reason. What sayest thou to this?
Jack, your reason.
What, upon compulsion? I would not tell you on compulsion. Give you reason on compulsion? Oh, if reasons were as plenty as blackberries, I would give no man a reason upon compulsion.
I'll be no longer guilty of this sin. This sanguine coward, this bed presser, this horseback breaker, this huge hill of flesh.
Oh, away, you starveling, you elfskin, you dried neat's tongue, bull pistol, you stockfish. Oh, for breath to utter. What is like thee, huh? You, tailor's yard, you sheath, you bouquets, you vile standing tuck.
Well, breathe a while and then do it again. And when thou hast tired thyself in base comparisons, hear me speak but thus.
Mark, Jack.
What?
We 2 saw you 3 set on 2 and bound them and were masters of their wealth. Mark now how a plain tale shall put you down. Then did we 2 set on you 3 and with a word outfaced you from your prize and have it, yea, I can shoot you in the house. And full staff, you carried your guts away as nimbly, with as quick dexterity, and roared for mercy, and still ran and roared as ever I heard bold calf. What a knave art thou, to hack thy sword as thou hast done, and then say it was in fight? What trick, what device, what starting hole canst thou now find out to hide thee from this open and apparent shame?
Come, let's see it, Jack. What trick hast thou now?
I knew ye as well as he that made ye. Why hear ye, my masters? Oh, was it for me to kill the heir apparent? Should I turn upon the true prince? Oh, why? Thou knowest I am as valiant as Hercules, but beware, instinct. The lion will not touch the true prince. Instinct, say, is a great matter. I was a coward on instinct. Oh, but lads, I'm glad you have the money.
My lord, the prince.
Oh.
How now, my lady the hostess? What sayest thou to me?
Mary, my lord, there's a nobleman of the court at the door would speak with you. He says he comes from your father.
Oh.
Give him as much as will make him a royal man and send him back again to my mother.
What manner of man is he?
An old man.
Oh, what took gravity out of his bed at midnight? Oh, look, shall I give him his answer?
Prithee do, Jack.
Faith! And I'll send him packing!
Now, sirs, you fought fair. So did you, Pito. So did you, Bardal. You are lions, too. You ran away upon instinct. You will not touch the true prince. No, fie.
Faith, I ran when I saw others run.
Tell me now, in earnest, how came Falstaff's sword so hacked?
Why, he hacked it with his dagger and said he would swear truth out of England, but he would make you believe it was done in fight and persuaded us to do the like.
Yeah, and to tickle our noses with speargrass and to make them bleed, and then to beslubber our garments with it and swear it was the blood of true men. I did that. I did not this 7 years before. I blush to hear his monstrous devices.
Oh, villain. Thou stolest a cup of sack 18 years ago, and wert taken with the manor, and ever since thou hast blushed extempore. Oh, here comes Lean Jack. Here comes Barebone. How long is to go, Jack, since thou sawest thine own knee?
My own knee. Oh, dear Falstaff, I cannot hear you.
I thought I already hit the little button, but apparently it was a thing. My own knee?
Yeah, since thou sawest thy own knee.
Yeah, when I was about thy years. Al, yeah. There's villainous news abroad. Here was Sir John Braby from your father. You must go to the court in the morning. This same mad lady of the North, Percy, and the one of Wales that made Lucifer cuckold and swore the devil, his true liege man upon the cross. What a plague call you him?
Glendower.
Owen the same, and his son-in-law, Mortimer, and old Northumberland, and the sprightly Scott of Scots, Douglas, that runs a horseback up the hill perpendicular.
He that rides at high speed and with a pistol kills a sparrow flying.
You've hit it.
So did he never the sparrow.
Well, that rascal hath good mettle in him. He will not run.
Why, what a rascal art thou then to praise him so for running?
A horseback cuckoo. but at foot he will not budge a foot.
Oh, yes, Jack. Upon instinct.
No, I grant you upon instinct. Well, he's there too, and one Mordric and 1,000 blue caps more. Worcester is stolen away by night. Thy father's beard is turned white with the news. You may buy land now as cheap as stinking mackerel.
Then 'tis like if there come a hot sun and this civil buffeting hold, we shall buy maidenheads as they buy hobnails. By the hundreds.
By the masses, Hal, thou sayest true. It is like we shall have good trading that way. But tell me, how art not thou horrible feared? Being thou heir apparent, could the world pick thee out of 3 such enemies? Again, that fiend Douglas, that spirit Percy, and that devil Glendower. Are they not horrible afraid? Doth not thy blood thrill at it?
Not a whit. I lack some of thy instinct.
Well, thou wilt be horrible, Jed, tomorrow, when thou comest to thy father. If thou do love me, practice an answer.
Do thou stand for my father and examine me upon the particulars of my life.
Shall I? Content. This chair here. Well, that will be my chair of state. Let's see. This, this dagger, my scepter. Right. And this cushion, my crown. Give me a cup of sack to make my eyes look red, that it may be thought I've wept. For I must speak in passion.
Oh, this is excellent sport, Faith.
Harry, I do not only marvel where thou spendest thy time, but also how thou art accompanied. Thou art my child. I have partly thy mother's word, partly my opinion, but chiefly a venomous trick of thine eye, and the foolish hanging of thy nether lip that thou doth warrant me. Be then thou be my child to me. Here lieth the point. Why, being child to me, art thou so pointed at? Shall the daughter of England prove a thief and take purses? No. A question to be asked. There's a thing, Harry, that thou hast often heard, and it is known to men in our land by the name of pitch. This pitch, as ancient writers do report, doth defile, as doth the company thou keepest. For Harry, now I do not speak to thee in drink, but in tears. Not in pleasure, but in passion. Not in words only, but in woes also. And yet there is a virtuous man, whom I've often noted in thy company, but I know not his name.
What manner of man, and it like your majesty?
No goodly, hardly man, faith, and a corpulent of a cheerful look, pleasing eye, and a most noble carriage, and now I remember me, his name is Falstaff. Now if that man should be rudely given, he deceives me, for Harry, I see virtue in his looks. There is virtue in that Falstaff. Him keep with, the rest banish. And tell me now, thou naughty varlet, tell me, where hast thou been this month?
Dost thou speak like a king?
Well, that's
Do thou stand for me, and I'll play my father.
Oh, all right, depose me.
Well,
yes.
I am set.
And here I stand, judge my masters.
Now, Harry, whence come you?
My noble lord from East Cheap.
The complaints I hear of thee are grievous.
With faith, my lord, they are false. Nay, I'll trickle ye for a young prince. I'll tickle these, you're silly me, for a young prince.
Swearest thou, ungracious girl, henceforth ne'er look on me. Thou art violently carried away from grace. There is a devil taunts thee in the likeness of a fat old man. A ton of men is thy companion. Why dost thou converse with that trunk of humors, that bolting hutch of beastliness, that huge bombard of sack, that stuffed cloak bag of guts, that roasted Manning triox with the pudding in his belly? Wherein is he good, but to taste sack and drink it? Wherein cunning, but in craft? Wherein crafty, but in villainy? Wherein villainous, but in all things? Wherein worthy, but in nothing?
Well, I would your grace would take me with you. Whom means your grace?
That villainous, abominable, misleader of youth, Falstaff, that old white-bearded Satan.
Well, my lord, the man I know.
I know thou dost.
But to say I know more harm in him than in myself, or to say more than I know, that he is old, more the pity, his white hairs do witness it, but that he is, save your reverence, a whoremaster, that I utterly deny. I mean, if sack and sugar be a fault, heaven help the wicked. If to be old and merry be a sin, well then many an old host that I know is damned. If to be fat is to be hated, then Pharaoh's lean kin are to be loved. No, my good lord, banish pedo, banish Kai, banish Bardolph, banish Poins, but for sweet Jack Falstaff, kind Jack Falstaff, true Jack Falstaff, valiant Jack Falstaff, and therefore more valiant, being as he is old. Jack Falstaff, banish not him, thy Harry's companion, banish not him, thy Harry's company, banish plump Jack Falstaff, banish all the world.
I do. I will.
Yeah.
Oh, my lord, the sheriff with a most monstrous watch is at the door.
Oh, out your rogue! Play out the play! I have much to say in behalf of that Falstaff. Come on.
Oh, my lord!
Hey, the devil rides upon a fiddlestick. What's the matter?
Oh, the sheriff and all the watch are at the door. They are come to search the house. Shall I let them in?
I deny your major. If you will deny the sheriff. So, if not, let him enter.
Go hide thee behind the arras. For the rest, walk up above. Now, my masters, for a true face and good conscience.
Okay, both which I have had, but our date is out, and therefore I will hide me.
Call in the sheriff. Now, Master Sheriff. Hey, what is your will with me?
First, pardon me, my lord. A hue and cry hath followed certain men into this house.
What men?
One of them is well known, my gracious lord. A gross fat man, as fat as butter.
The man, I do assure you, is not here. For I myself have at this time employed him. And Sheriff, I will engage my word to thee that I will, by tomorrow, dinner time, send him to answer thee, or anyone, for anything he shall be charged withal. And so, let me entreat you, leave the house.
I will, my lord. And there are two gentlemen have in this robbery lost 300 marks.
It may be so. If he have robbed these men, he shall be answerable. And so farewell.
Good night, my noble lord.
I think it is good morrow. Is it not?
Indeed, my lord. I think it'd be 2:00.
This oily rascal. Go call him forth.
Falstaff! Up, fast asleep behind the arras and snorting like a horse.
Hark how hard he fetches breath. Search his pockets. What hast thou found?
Nothing but papers, my lord.
There, let him sleep till day. I'll to the court in the morning. We must all to the wars. And thy place shall be honorable. I'll procure this fat rogue a charge of foot. And I know his death will be a match of 12 score. The money shall be paid back again with advantage. Be with me betimes in the morning. And so, good morrow, Peto.
Tomorrow, my good lord.
These promises are fair, the party's sure, and our induction full of prosperous hope.
Lord Mortimer and Cousin Glendower, will you sit down? Oh, and Uncle Worcester, Auntie Worcester. Oh, plague upon it, I forgot the map.
Nay, here it is. Sit, Cousin Percy, sit, good Cousin Hotspur. Oh, for by that name, as oft as Lancaster doth speak of you, his cheeks look pale, and with a rising sigh he wisheth you in heaven.
And you in hell, as oft as own Glendower spoke of.
Oh, I cannot blame him. At my nativity, the front of heaven was full of fiery shapes, of burning cressets, and at my birth, the frame and foundation of the earth shaked like a coward.
Why, so it would have done at the same season if your mother's cat had but kittened, though you yourself had never been born.
I say the earth did shake when I was born.
And I say the earth was not of my mind, if you suppose as fearing you it shook.
Aha! The heavens were all on fire, the earth did tremble.
Then the earth shook to see the heavens on fire, and not in fear of your nativity. Diseased nature often breaks forth in strange eruptions.
Cousin of many folk, I do not bear these crossings. Give me leave to tell you once again that at my birth, the front of heaven was full of fiery shapes, and the goats ran from the mountains, and the herds were strangely clamorous to the frighted fields. These signs have marked me extraordinary, and all the courses of my life do show I am not in the role of common men.
I think there's no man speaks better Welsh. I'll to dinner.
Peace, Cousin Percy. You'll make him mad.
I can call spirits.
I can call them, thank you very much, lass, from the vasty deep.
Why, so can I, or so can anyone. Will they come when you do call for them?
Oh, I can teach thee, cousin, to command the devil.
Oh. And I can teach thee, cousin, to shame the devil by telling truth. Tell truth and shame the devil. If thou hast power to raise him, bring him hither, and I'll be sworn I have power to send him hence. Oh, while you live, tell truth and shame the devil.
Come, no more of this unprofitable chat.
3 times hath Henry Bolingbroke made heed against my power. Thrice from the banks of Wye and sandy bottom Severn have I sent him bootless home and weather-beaten back.
You're home without boots? And in foul weather too?
Come, here's the map. Shall we divide our right according to our threefold order ta'en?
The archdeacon hath divided it into three limits, very equally. England from Trent and Severn hitherto by south to east is to my part assigned. All westward, Wales beyond the Severn shore, and all the fertile land within the bound to Owen Glendower, and dear cuz, to you, the remnant northward, lying off from Trent. Tomorrow, cousin Percy, you and I, to meet you and I and my good Lord Worcester will set forth to meet your father and the Scottish power, as is appointed us at Shrewsbury. My father, Glendower, is not ready yet, nor shall we need his help these 14 days.
Shorter time shall send me to your lords, and in my conduct shall your ladies come, from whom you now must steal and take no leave, for there will be a world of water shed upon the parting of your wives and you.
Methinks my moiety north of Burton here in quantity equals not one of yours. Well, see how this river comes cranking in and cuts me from the best of all my land. A huge half moon cut out, a monstrous cantle out. I'll have the current in this place dammed up here, and smug and silver Trent shall run in a new channel, fair and evenly. It shall not wind so deep and indent to rob me of so rich a bottom here.
Not wind. It must, you see, it doth.
Yea, but mark how he bears his course and runs me up with like advantage on the other side. Gelding the opposed continent as much as on the other side it takes from you.
Yea, but a little charge will trench him here, and on this north side win this cape of land, and then he runs straight and even.
I'll have it so. A little charge will do it.
I'll not have it altered.
Oh, will not you?
No, nor shall you.
Who shall say me nay?
Why, that will I.
Let me not understand you then. Speak it in Welsh.
Oh, I can speak English, Lord, as well as you, for I was trained up in the English court and gave the tongue a helpful ornament, a virtue that was nae seen in you.
Oh, Mary, and I'm glad of it with all my heart. I'd rather be a kitten in crying youth than one of these same meter ballad mongers. I had rather hear a brazen candlestick turned, or rather a dry wheel grate on the axle tree, and that would set my teeth nothing on edge. Nothing so much as mincing poetry.
Oh, oh, come, you shall have Trent turned.
Huh. Well, are the indentures wrong? Shall we be gone?
The moon shines fair, you may away by night. I'll haste the writer, and withal break with your wives of your departure hence. I am afraid my daughter will run mad, so much she doteth on her Mortimer.
In faith, thy cousin Percy, how you cross my father.
Oh, I cannot choose. Sometimes he angers me. He held me last night at least 9 hours, and reckoning up the several devils' names who were his lackeys. Oh, I cried, and well, and go too, but heard him not a word. Oh, he's as tedious as a tired horse, a railing wife.
In faith, he was a worthy gentleman, exceeding well read, and profited in strange concealments, shall I tell you? Cousin, he holds your temper in a high respect. I warrant you that man is not alive, might so have tempted him as you have done. without the taste of danger and reproof, but do not use it oft. Let me entreat you.
In faith, my lord, you are too wilful blame, and since your coming hither have done enough to put him quite besides his patience. You must needs learn, lord, to amend this fault.
Well, I am schooled. Good manners be your speed. Here come our wives. Let us take our leave.
This is the deadly spite that angers me. My wife can speak no English, and I no Welsh.
My daughter weeps. She'll not part with you. She'll be a soldier too. She'll to the wars. Oh, she is desperate here, a peevish, self-willed harlotry, one that no persuasion can do good upon.
Helo, dysgu di dim syniad beth rydych chi'n oedwyd ond mewn swinion gywsius fel i fyn, me ffydwyn o'n gilgad I Sweden.
I understand thy looks, that pretty Welsh, which thou powerest down with these swelling heavens. I am too perfect in, and but for shame in such a parley should I answer thee.
Dysgu di dim syniad oed beth rydych chi'n odwad. Rwy'n carwf a nwyr nwynt yn cifach rwfas. Dwi swyddiron eich o campus, ond dwi coswyr dynwyr. Cydwyd in gartref in Eichelifen.
I understand thy kisses, and thou mine, and that's a feeling disputation, but I will never be a truant, love, till I have learned thy language, for thy tongue makes Welsh as sweet as ditties highly penned.
Lord Mortimer, speaking of that, how is your Welsh learning going? Can you give us a little bit of Welsh?
Yes, please do.
That's Welsh for I don't speak Welsh.
That's a great start. Can you tell her you love her? Do you know that one yet?
That would be a good one to learn. Let me get my dictionary.
You can put it on your list. Let's go from Glendar's. Nay, if thou melt.
Nay, if thou melt, then she will run mad.
Rwy'n got pretty bulk, eich fos bastard is mi for sure. Und dos ginich kim dim ki fos di won, but ja fin canoe as saruch hatanyod.
Oh, I am ignorance itself in this.
Ah, she bids you, on the wanton rushes lay you down, and rest your gentle head upon her lap, and she will sing the song that pleaseth you, and on your eyelids crown the god of sleep, charming your blood with pleasing heaviness, making such difference betwixt wake and sleep as is the difference betwixt day and night.
With all my heart, I'll sit and hear her sing. By that time will our book, I think, be drawn.
Aye, do so, and those musicians that shall play to you hang in the air 1,000 leagues from thence, and straight they shall be here. Sit and attend.
Come, Kate. Thou art perfect in lying down. Come, quick, that I may lay my head in your lap.
Oh, ye giddy goose.
Oh, now I perceive the devil doth understand Welsh. It is no marvel he is so humorous. For lady, he's a good musician.
Then you would be nothing but musical, for you are altogether governed by humors. Lie thee still, thief, and hear the lady sing in Welsh.
I'd rather hear, lady, my broch howl in Irish.
Wouldst have thy head broken?
No.
Then be still.
Neither 'tis a woman's fault.
Oh, now God help thee.
To the Welsh lady's bed.
What's that?
Peace, she sings.
Da dee da 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 dee da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 da.
Come, I'll have your song too.
Not mine, in good sooth.
Not yours, in good sooth. Come, swear me, Kate, the lady as thou art, a good mouth-filling oath. Come, sing.
I will not sing.
Well, I'll away within these 2 hours, so come in when you will.
Come, Lord Mortimer, you are as slow as hot Lord Percy is on fire to go. By this our book is drawn, we'll but seal, and then to horse immediately.
With all my heart.
I know not whether heaven will have it so for some displeasing service I have done, that in his secret doom out of my blood you bleed revengement and a scourge for me. But thou dost, in thy passages of life, make me believe that thou art only marked for the hot vengeance and the rod of heaven to punish my mistreadings. Tell me yes.
So please your majesty, I would I could quit all offenses with as clear excuse, as well as I am doubtless I can purge myself of many I'm charged with all. I may, for some things true, wherein my youth hath faulty wandered and irregular, find pardon on my true submission.
Heaven pardon thee. Yet let me wonder, Harry, at thy affections. Thy place in council thou hast rudely lost, which by thy younger sibling is supplied, and art almost an alien to the hearts of all the court and princes of my blood. The hope and expectation of thy time is ruined, and the soul of every man prophetically doth forethink thy fall. And I, so lavish of my presence, man, so common hackneyed in the eyes of men, so stale and cheap to vulgar company, opinion that did help me to the crown had left me in reputeless banishment, a fellow of no mark nor likelihood, by being seldom seen. I could not stir, but like a comet was I wondered at, that men would tell their children, this is he. Others would say, where? Which is Bolingbroke? That I did pluck allegiance from men's hearts, loud shouts and salutations from their mouths, even in the presence of the crowned king. Thus I did keep my person fresh and new, my presence like a robe pontifical, ne'er seen, but wondered at. The skipping king that ambled up and down with shallow jesters and rash Brabant wits, mingled his royalty with carping fools, had his great name profaned with their scorns, grew a companion to the common streets, that being daily swallowed by men's eyes, they surfeited with honey and began to loathe the taste of sweetness, whereof a little more than a little is by much too much. And in that very line, Harry, standest thou, for thou hast lost thy princely privilege with vile participation. Not an eye, but is aweary of thy common sight, save mine, which hath desired to see thee more.
Shall hereafter, my thrice gracious lord, be more myself.
For all the world, as thou art to this hour, was Richard then, And even as I was then, is Percy now by my scepter and my soul to boot. She hath more worthy interest in the state than thou, the shadow of succession. Thrice hath this Hotspur Mars in swaddling clothes, this infant warrior in her enterprises, discomfited great Douglas, ta'en him once, enlarged him, and made a friend of him, to fill the mouth of deep defiance up and shake the peace and safety of our throne. And what say you to this? Percy, Northumberland, the Archbishop's Grace of York, Douglas, Mortimer capitulate against us and are up. But wherefore tell I these news to thee? Why, Harry, do I tell thee of my foes, which art my nearest and dearest enemy? How? That art like enough through vassal fear, base inclination, and the start of spleen to fight against me under the Percy's pay to shew how much thou art degenerate.
Do not think so, you shall not find it so. And heaven forgive them that so much have swayed your majesty's good thoughts away from me. I will redeem all this on Percy's head, and in the closing of some glorious day be bold to tell you that I am your child, when I will wear a garment all of blood and stain my favors in a bloody mask, which washed away shall scour my shame with it. And that shall be the day when, errant lights, that this same child of honor and renown, this gallant Hotspur, this all-praised knight, and your unthought of Harry, chance to meet. For every honor sitting on her helm, would they were multitudes. And on my head, my shame's redoubled. For the time will come that I shall make this northern youth exchange her glorious deeds for my indignities. This in the name of heaven I promise thee here, the which if I perform and do survive, I do beseech your majesty may salve the long-grown wounds of my intemperature. If not, the end of life cancels all bans, and I will die 100,000 deaths ere break the smallest parcel of this thou.
100,000 rebels die in this. Thou shalt have charge and sovereign trust herein. How now, good Blunt? Thy looks are full of speed.
So hath the business that I come to speak of. The Douglas and the English rebels met the 11th of this month at Shrewsbury. A mighty and a fearful head they are, as ever offered foul play in a state.
The Earl of Westmoreland set forth today. With him, my child, Lord John of Lancaster. On Wednesday next, Harry, thou shalt set forward. On Thursday, we ourselves will march. Our meeting is Bridgenorth. Our hands are full of business. Let's away. Advantages feed him fat, while men delay.
And that is halftime, everyone. We're going to take a short break. Feel free to visit the bathrooms or the concession stand. I've heard that there's absolutely no line where you are today, and I'm going to hand it back to Lauren.
Awesome, friends. I hope you're having fun so far. We are, gearing up for, I wonder what will happen in the second half if you read that title of the play. Don't worry about that. Allow yourself to be surprised and experience this all with us. We're just going to take a few minutes, so please take care of yourselves, get whatever refreshments you need. If you do have to head out, it would be great if you could, if you have a little extra, toss some virtual ducats in those buckets. Otherwise, no worries. But we do hope to see you for the second half.
everybody, welcome back. I hope that you enjoyed your refreshing break and you didn't have to stand behind someone or discover an unexpectedly locked bathroom. Before we get started on the second half of our show, I just want to make sure that we are still all like here. We are still excited. We are still in the chat. We love seeing you there. So we're going to do another practice hype up session really, really quick. So this time I want all of my basement and bathroom and dining room and car people to be my cheerers. Okay, we're going to have a fight coming up soon and I want you to be loud. Ready? Amazing. Shout out to that basement contingent. My gosh. And we're going to have our living room and our bedroom people do the booing now, also for the fight that will be coming henceforth. Ready? Most excellent. Y'all sound ready to go. I can see my people are here and ready to go. So without further ado, the second part of the first part of Henry IV with the life and death of Henry surnamed Hotspur, Act 3, Scene 3.
Bardolph, am I not fallen away vilely? Oh, since this last action, do I not dwindle? Why my skin hangs about me? Look, like a old lady's loose gown. It's just
Sir
like
John,
that.
you are so fretful. You cannot live long.
Oh, there it is. Oh, hey, come sing me a body song. Go.
Shooby-doo-doo-doo, body song. Ladies are cute and I love them so. Shooby-doo-doo-doo, I love them so.
Bardolph, that is the most pathetic body song I have ever heard. Oh, there it is. It's all right. It's all right. It made me laugh to see you try. I was as virtuously given as a gentleman needs be, virtuous enough, sworn little, dice not about, above 7 times a week. Went to the body house not above once in a quarter of an hour. Paid money that I borrowed, 3, 4 times, lived well, and in good compass, and now I live out of all order, out of compass.
Well, you're so fat, Sir John, that you must needs be out of all compass, of all a reasonable compass, Sir John.
Do thou amend thy face, and I'll amend thy life.
Why, Sir John, my face does you no harm.
Now, Bisworn, I make as good a use of it as many a man doth of a death's head. Never, but I never see thy face. I think upon hellfire.
I wish my face were in your belly.
Oh, so should I be sure to be heart-burned. oh, how now, Dame Partlet the hen? Have you inquired yet who picked my pocket?
Why, Sir John? What do you think, Sir John? Do you think I keep thieves in my house? I have searched, I have inquired, so has my husband, man by man, boy by boy, servant by servant. The tide of the hair was never lost in my house before.
Oh, you lie, hostess. Bardolph was shaved and lost many a hair, and I'll be sworn my pocket was picked. Go to, you are a woman. Go.
Oh, I defy thee. I was never called so in my own house before.
Oh, go to, I know you well enough.
Oh, now, Sir John, you do not know me, Sir John.
Oh.
I know you, Sir John. You owe me money, Sir John, and now you quarrel to beguile me of it. I bought you a dozen of shirts to your back.
Oh, dollars, filthy dollars, I have given away to bakers' wives, and they have made bolters of them.
Now, as I am a true woman, you owe money here besides, Sir John, for your diet and buy drinkings and money lent you £4.20.
Well, he had his part in it. Let him pay.
He is poor. He hath nothing.
Oh, shall I not take mine ease in mine inn, but I shall have my pocket picked? Or I have lost a seal ring of my grand My grandfather's, it was worth 40 mark.
I have heard the prince tell him, I know not how oft, that ring was copper.
Oh, how? Oh, the princess I jack, and if she were here, I would cudgel her like a dog, if she would say so.
What sayest thou, Jack?
Oh, well, the other night, I fell asleep here and had my pocket picked. Yeah, this house is turned body house. They pick pockets.
What didst thou lose, Jack?
Oh, wilt thou believe me how? 3 or 4 bonds, a 40-pound apiece, and a seal ring of my grandfather's.
A trifle, some 8-penny matter.
So I told him, my lord, and said, I heard your grace say so, and my lord, he speaks most vilely of you, like a foul-mouthed man as he is, and said he would cudgel you.
What? He did not.
But there's neither faith, truth, nor womanhood in me else.
There's no more faith in thee than a stewed prune. No more truth in thee than a drawn fox. And for womanhood,
I am an honest man's wife, and setting thy knighthood aside, thou art a knave to call me so.
setting thy womanhood aside, thou art a beast to say otherwise.
Oh, say what, beast, thou knave, thou!
Oh, stop it! What beast? Why an otter?
An otter. Sir John, why an otter?
Why? Oh, well, she's neither fish nor flesh. A man knows not where to have her.
Oh, thou art an unjust man in saying so. Thou or any man knows where to have me, thou knave, thou.
Thou sayest true, hostess, and he slanders thee most grossly.
Oh, Lord.
So he doth you, my lord, and said this other day, you owed him £1,000.
1,000?
Sarah, do I owe you £1,000?
£1,000? Well, hell, a million? Thy love is worth 1,000,000. Thou owest me thy love. Huh?
Nay, my lord, he called you Jack and said he would cudgel you.
Oh, did I, Bardolph?
Indeed, Sir John. Indeed, Sir John, you said so.
Yeah, I said, if she said that my ring was copper.
I say, 'tis copper.
Ooh.
Darest thou be as good as thy word now?
Why, how? Thou knowest, as thou art but a woman I dare, but as thou art a prince. See, I fear thee, as I fear the roaring of a lion's whelp.
And why not as the lion?
Oh, the king himself is to be feared as the lion. Dost thou think I'll fear thee as I fear thy father? Oh, nay, if I do, let my girdle break.
Oh, if it should. How would thy guts fall about thy knees? But Sarah, there's no room for faith, truth, nor honesty in this bosom of thine. It's all filled up with guts and midriff. Thou art an honest woman, with picking thy pocket. Why, thou whoreson, impudent, embossed rascal! If there were anything in thy pocket but tavern reckonings, memorandums of body houses, and one poor pennyworth of sugar candy to make thee long-winded, if thy pocket were enriched with any other injuries but these, I am a villain. And yet you will stand to it. You will not pocket up wrong. Art thou not ashamed?
I have more flesh than another man, and therefore more frailty. You confess, then, you picked my pocket?
It appears so, by the story.
Ah, hostess, I forgive thee. Go make ready breakfast. Love thy husband, look to thy servants, and cherish thy guests. Nay, I prithee be gone. Oh, now how to the news at court for the robbery, my girl. How is that answered?
Oh, my sweet beef. I must still be good angel to thee. The money is paid back again.
Oh, I do not like that paying back. 'Tis a double labor.
I am good friends with my father and may do anything.
Oh, rob me the exchequer the first thing thou dost, and do it with unwashed hands too.
Who do, my lord?
I have procured thee, Jack, a charge of foot.
Oh, would it have been a horse?
Bardolph.
Oh, my lord.
Go bear this letter to my lord John of Lancaster, and to my brother John, yes, and this to my lord of Westmoreland.
Okay.
Jack, meet me tomorrow in the Temple Hall at 2:00 in the afternoon. Yes.
Yes.
There shalt thou know thy charge.
Oh.
The land is burning. Percy stands on high, and either they or we must lower lie.
Rare words! Brave world! Hostess! My breakfast come!
Well said, my noble Scot. If speaking truth in this fine age were not thought flattery, such attribution should the Douglas have. By heaven, I cannot flatter. I defy the tongues of soothers, but a braver place in my heart's love hath no man than yourself.
Thou art the king of honor. No man so potent breeze upon the ground, but I will beard him.
Do so, 'tis well. What letters hast thou there? I can but thank you.
These letters come from your father.
Letters from him? Why comes he not himself?
He cannot come, my lord. He's grievous sick.
What, sick now? Drew, but now this sickness doth infect the very lifeblood of our enterprise. Yet he doth give us bold advertisement that with our small conjunction we should on to see how fortune is disposed to us. For as he writes, there is no quailing now, because the king is certainly possessed of all our purposes. What say you to it?
Your father's sickness is a maim to us.
Oh, perilous gash, very limb lopped off.
The quality and air of our attempt brooks no division. It will be thought by some that know not why he is away, that wisdom, loyalty, and mere dislike of our proceedings kept the earl from hence. And think how such an apprehension may turn the tide of fearful faction and breed a kind of question in our cause. This absence of your father draws a curtain that shews the ignorant a kind of fear before not dreamt of.
No, you stray too far. I rather of his absence make this use. It lends a luster and more great opinion, a larger dare to your great enterprise than if the earl were here. Well, the men must think that if without his help we can make a head to push against the kingdoms, with his help we shall o'erturn it topsy-turvy down. Yet all goes well. All our joints are whole. My cousin Vernon, welcome by my soul.
I pray, good God, my news be worth a welcome, Lord. The Earl of Westmoreland, 7,000 strong, is marching hitherwards with Prince John.
No harm. What more?
And further, I have learned the king himself in person hath set forth with strong and mighty preparation.
he shall be welcome too. Where is his girl? The nimble-footed madcap Prince of Wales and her comrades that let the daft world aside and bid it pass?
All furnished, all in arms, and gorgeous as the sun at midsummer, wanton as youthful goats, wild as young bulls. I saw young Harry with her beaver on, her cushes on her thighs, gallantly armed, rise from the ground like feathered Mercury, and vaulted with such ease into her seat as if an angel dropped down from the clouds.
No more. No more. They come like sacrifices in their trim into the fiery-eyed maid of smoky war, all hot and bleeding, we will offer them. The Maelad Mars shall on his altar sit, up to the ears in blood. I am on fire. Come, take me to my horse, who is yet to bear me like a thunderbolt against the bosom of this Prince of Wales. Harry to Harry shall not horse to horse meet and ne'er depart till one drop down a course. Oh, that Glendower will come.
There is more news. I learned in Worcester, as I rode along, he cannot draw her power this 14 days.
That's the worst tidings that I hear of yet.
I by my faith, that bears a frosty sound.
My father and Glendower being both away, the powers of us may serve so great a day. Come, let us take a muster speedily. Doomsday is near. Die all. Die merrily.
Talk not of dying. I am not of fear of death, of death's hands for this 1/2 year.
Bardolph! Bardolph, get thee before the Coventry. Fill me a bottle of sack.
Oh, will you give me money, Captain?
Yeah. Lay out.
This bottle makes an angel.
And if it do, take it for thy labor. And if it make 20, take 'em all. I'll answer the coinage, huh? Oh, bid my Lieutenant Pito meet me at the town's end.
Oh, I will, Captain. Farewell.
How now, blown Jack?
Oh.
Quilt?
Oh, what how now, madwag? What a devil dost thou in Warwickshire? My good lord of Westmoreland. I cry you mercy. I thought your honor had already been at Shrewsbury.
Faith, Sir John, 'tis more than time that I were there, and you too. But my powers are there already. The king, I can tell you, looks for us all. We must away all tonight.
Oh, Tug, never fear me. I'm as valiant as a cat to steal cream.
I think to steal cream indeed, for thy theft have already made thee butter. But, Sierra, make haste. Percy is already in the field.
What is the king encamped?
He is, Sir John. I fear we shall stay too long.
We will fight with him tonight.
It may not be.
You give him the advantage.
Not a whit.
Not a whit!
What say you so? Why? Looks he not for supply?
So do we.
His is certain, ours is doubtful.
Good cousin, be advised, stir not tonight.
Do not, my lord.
You do not counsel well. You speak it out of fear and cold heart.
Do me no slander, Douglas. By my life, I hold as little counsel with weak fear as you, my lord, or any Scot that this day lives. Let it be seen tomorrow in the battle which of us fears.
Yea, or tonight.
Content.
Tonight, say I.
Come, it may not be. Can you foresee not what impediments drag back our expedition? Certain horse of my cousin Vernon's are not yet come up. Your uncle's Worcester's horse came but today.
So are the horses of the enemy, but the better part of ours are full of rest.
The number of the king exceedeth ours. For God's sake, cousin, stay till all come in.
I come with gracious offers from the king, if you vouchsafe me hearing and respect.
Welcome, Sir Walter Blunt. And would to God you were of our determination. Some of us love you well, but stand against us like an enemy.
And heaven defend, but still I should stand so long as out of limit and true rule you stand against anointed majesty. But to my charge. The king hath sent to know the nature of your griefs, and whereupon you conjure from the breast of civil peace such bold hostility. If that the king have any way your good deserts forgot, which he confesseth to be manifold, he bids you name your griefs, and with all speed you shall have your desires with interest, and pardon absolute for yourself and these herein misled by your suggestion.
The king is kind. My father, my auntie, and myself did give him that same royalty he wears. And when he was not 26 strong, sick in the world's regard, wretched and low, a poor unmined outlaw sneaking home, my father gave him welcome to our shores. And when he heard him swear and vow to God, he came but to be Duke of Lancaster, to sue his livery and beg his peace, with tears of inconstancy and terms of zeal. My father, in kind heart and pity moved, swore him assistance, and performed it too.
Tut! I came not to hear this.
To the point, then. In short time after, he deposed the king. Soon after that, deprived him of his life. To make that worse, suffered his Mortimer there without ransom, to lie forfeited, disgraced me in happy victories, sought to entrap me by intelligence, rated my auntie from the council board, enraged, dismissed my father from the court, broke oath on oath, committed wrong on wrong, and in conclusion, drove us to seek out this head of safety, and withal to pry into his title, the which we find too indirect for long continuance.
Shall I return this answer to the king?
Not so, Sir Walter. Go to the king and let there be impawned some surety for safe return again. And in the morning, early, shall my auntie bring him our purpose. And so farewell.
I would you would accept of grace and love.
And maybe. And so we shall.
Pray heaven you do.
Oh, bloodily! The sun begins to peer above yon busky hill. The day looks pale at his distemperature.
The southern wind doth play the trumpets to his purposes, and by his hollow whistling in the leaves foretells a tempest and a blustering day.
And with the losers let it sympathize, for nothing can seem foul to those that win. How now, my lord of Worcester? 'Tis not well that you and I should meet upon such terms as now we meet. You have deceived our trust and made us doff our easy robes of peace to crush our old limbs in ungentle steel. This is not well, my lord. This is not well. What say you to it? Will you again unknit this churlish knot of all abhorred war, and be no more than an exhaled meteor, a prodigy of fear, and a portent of broached mischief to the unborn times?
Hear me, my liege. For mine own part, I could be well content to entertain the lag end of my life with quiet hours, for I do protest I have not sought the day of this dislike.
You have not sought it! How comes it then?
Rebellion led her way and she found it.
Peace, Jewett, peace.
It pleased your majesty to turn your looks of favor from myself and all our house, and yet I must remember you, my lord. We were the first and dearest of your friends, for you, my staff of office, did I break in Richard's time, and posted day and night to meet you on the way, and kiss your hand when you were in place, and in account nothing so strong and fortunate as I. It was myself, my brother, and his child that brought you home, and boldly did outdare the danger of the time. And being fed by us, you used us so, as that ungentle gull the cuckoo's bird useth the sparrow, did oppress our nest. We were informed for safety's sake to fly out of your sight, and raise this present head whereby we stand opposed by such means as you yourself have forged against yourself by unkind usage, dangerous countenance, and violation of all faith and troth sworn to us in younger enterprise.
These things indeed you have articulated, proclaimed in market crosses, read in churches, to face the garment of rebellion with some fine color that may please the eye of fickle changelings and poor discontents, which gape and rub the elbow at the news of hurly-burly innovation. And never yet did insurrection want such watercolors to impaint the cause, nor moody beggars starving for a time of pell-mell havoc and confusion.
In both our armies, there is many a soul shall pay full dearly for this encounter, if once they join in trial. Tell your cousin, the Prince of Wales doth join with all the world in praise of Henry Percy. By my hopes, this present enterprise set off her head. I do not think a braver warrior, more active, valiant, or more valiant, young, more daring, or more bold is now alive to grace this latter age with noble deeds. For my part, I may speak it to my shame, I have a truant been to chivalry, and so I hear she doth account me too. Yet this before my father's majesty, I am content that she shall take the odds of her great name and estimation, and will, to save blood on either side, try fortune with her in a single fight.
And Prince of Wales, so dare we venture thee, albeit considerations infinite do make against it. No, good Worcester, no. We love our people well, even those we love that are misled on your cousin's part. And will they take the offer of our grace, both she and they and you? Yea, everyone shall be my friend again, and I'll be theirs. So tell your cousin, and bring me word what she will do. But if she will not yield, rebuke and dead correction wait on us, and they shall do their office. So be gone. We will not now be troubled with reply. We offer fair, take it advisedly.
It will not be accepted on my life. The Douglas and the Hotspur both together are confident against the world in arms.
Henceforth every leader to their charge, for on their answer we will set on them, and God befriend us, as our cause is just.
Hal, if thou see me down in the battle and bestride me so, 'tis a point of friendship.
Nothing but a colossus can do thee that friendship. Say thy prayers and farewell.
I would it were bedtime, Hal, and all well.
Why, thou owest heaven a death.
Oh, 'tis not due yet. I would be loath to pay him before his day. Oh, what need I be so forward with him that calls not on me? Well, 'tis no matter. Honor pricks me on. But how if honor prick me off when I come on? How then? Can honor take away the grief of a wound? No. Honor hath no skill in surgery then? No. What is honor? A word. What is that word honor? Ere a trim reckoning. Who hath it? He that died a Wednesday. Doth he feel it? No. Doth he hear it? No. Is it insensible then? Yea, to the dead. But will it not live before the living? No. Why? Detraction will not suffer it. Therefore, I'll none of it. Honor is a mere scutcheon, and so ends my catechism.
Oh, no, my hot niece must not know, Sir Richard, the liberal kind offer of the king.
'Twere best he did.
Then we are all undone. It is not possible. It cannot be. The king would keep his word in loving us. He will suspect us still and find a time to punish the offense in others' faults. My hot niece's trespass may be well forgot. It hath the excuse of youth and heat of blood, a harebrained Hotspur governed by a spleen. All her offenses live upon my head and on her father's. We did train her on, and her corruption being ta'en from us, we, as the spring of all, shall pay for all. Therefore, good cousin, let not Harry know in any case the offer of the king.
Deliver what you will, I'll say 'tis so. Here comes your cousin.
My auntie has returned. Auntie, what news?
The king will bid you battle presently.
Defy him by the Lord of Westmoreland.
Lord Douglas, go and tell him so.
Marry shall, and very willingly.
There is no seeming mercy in the king.
Did you beg any? God forbid.
I told him gently of our grievances, of his oath breaking, which he mended thus by now forswearing that he is forsworn. He calls us rebels, traitors, and will scourge with haughty arms this hateful name in us.
Arms, gentlemen, to arms! For I have thrown brave defiance in King Henry's teeth.
The Prince of Wales slept forth before the king, and cousin challenged you to single fight.
Oh, what the quarrel laid upon our heads, and that no man might draw short breath today but I and Harry Monmouth. Tell me, how showed her talking? Seemed in contempt?
No, by my soul, I never in my life did hear a challenge urged more modestly, unless a brother dare to gentle exercise and proof of arms. She gave you all the duties of a woman, trimmed up your praises with a princely tongue, spoke your deservings like a chronicle, and which became her like a prince indeed.
Cousin, I think thou art enamored on her follies. I will embrace her with a soldier's arm, that she shall shrink under my courtesy. Arm, arm with speed. And fellows, soldiers, friends.
My lord, here are the letters for you.
I cannot read them now. Gentle ones, the time of life is short. To spend that shortness basely were too long. And if we live to tread on kings. If die, brave deaths when princes die with us.
My lord, prepare, the king comes on apace.
I thank him that he cuts me from my tale, for I profess not talking. Only this, let each one do their best. And here, I draw sword, whose worthy temper I intend to sting with the best blood that I can meet withal. In this adventure of the perilous day, sound all the lofty instruments of war, and by that music let us all embrace. For heaven to earth, some of us never shall a second time do such a courtesy.
What is thy name, that in battle thus you crossest me? What honor dost thou seek upon my head?
Know then, my name is Douglas, and I do haunt thee in the battle thus, because some tell me that thou art a king.
They tell thee true.
The Lord of Stafford, dear today, hath bought thy likeness. For instead of thee, King Harry, this sword hath ended him, and so shall it thee, unless thou yield thee a prisoner.
I was not born to yield, thou haughty Scot. And thou shalt find a king that will revenge Lord Stafford's death.
Douglas, hast thou fought at Holmdon, thus I never had triumphed o'er a Scot.
All's done, all's won. Here breathless lies the king.
Where?
Here!
This Douglas. No, I know this face full well. A gallant knight he was. His name was Blunt. Assembly furnished like the king himself.
Ah, fool! Go thy slow whither it goes. A borrowed title thou hast bought too dear. What didst thou tell me thou wert a king?
King hath many marching in his coats.
Now, by my sword, I will kill all his coats. I will murder all his wardrobe, piece by piece, until I meet the king.
Up and away. Our soldiers stand full fairly for the day.
Though I could escape shot free in London, I fear the shot here. Here, no scoring, but upon the pate. Soft. Who are you? Sir Walter Blunt? Oh, there's honor for you. Here's no vanity. I'm hot as molten lead. Oh, and heavy too. Oh, God, heaven, keep lead out of me. I need no more weight than mine own bowels. But who comes here?
What? Standst thou idle there? Lend me thy sword, many a nobleman likes. Stark and stiff under the hooves of vaunting enemies, whose deaths are unrevenged. Prithee, lend me thy sword.
Hal, I prithee give me leave to breathe a while. I've paid Percy. I've made him sure.
She is indeed and living to kill thee. I prithee, lend me thy sword.
Nay, Hal, if Percy be alive, thou getst not my sword, but, here, take my pistol, if thou wilt.
Give it me.
Yeah.
What, is it in the case?
Yeah, Hal, 'tis hot. There's, that will sack a city.
What? Is it a time to jest and dally now?
I like not such grinning honor as Sir Walter hath. Oh, give me life, which I can save, so if not, honor comes unlooked for, and there's an end. Come on, you.
I prithee, Harry, withdraw thyself. Thou bleedst too much. Lord John of Lancaster, go you with him.
Not I, my lord, unless I did bleed too.
My lord of Westmoreland, lead her to her tent.
Come, my lord, I'll lead you to your tent.
Lead me, my lord. I do not need your help. And heaven forbid a shallow scratch to drive the Prince of Wales from such a field as this. We breathe too long. Come, cousin Westmoreland. Our duty this way lies. For heaven's sake, come! By heaven, thou hast deceived me, Lancaster. I did not think thee lord of such a spirit. Before, I loved thee as a brother, John. But now, I do respect thee as my soul.
I saw him hold Lord Percy at the point with lustier management than I did look for in such an ungrown warrior.
Oh, this boy lends metal to us all.
Another king? They grow like Hydra's heads. I am the Douglas, fatal to all those that wear those colours on them. What art thou that yet counterfeit the person of a king?
The king himself, who Douglas grieves at heart. So many of his shadows hast thou met, and not the very king. I have 2 children seek Percy and thyself about the field, but seeing as thou fallest so luckily, I will essay thee. So, defend thyself.
I fear thou art another counterfeit. And yet, in faith, thou bearest thee like a king. But mine, I'm sure thou art, whoe'er thou be, and thus I win thee.
Hold up thy head, vile Scot, for thou art like never to hold it up again. The spirits of valiant Shirley Stafford blunt are in my arms. It is the Prince of Wales that threatens thee, who never promiseth, but she means to pay. Truly, my lord. How fares your grace?
Stay. And breathe a while. Thou hast redeemed thy lost opinion, and shouldst thou make some tender of my life in this fair rescue thou hast brought to me.
If I mistake not, thou art Harry Monmouth.
Thou speakst as if I would deny my name.
My name is Harry Percy.
Why, then I see a very valiant rebel of that name. I am the Prince of Wales, and think not, Percy, to share with me in glory any more. 2 stars keep not their motion in one sphere. Nor can one England brook a double reign of Harry Percy and the Prince of Wales.
Nor shall it, Harry, for the hour is come to end one of us. And would to heaven thy name in arms were now as great as mine.
I'll make it greater ere I part from thee, and all the budding honors on thy crest I'll crop to make a garland for my head.
I can no longer brook thy vanities.
Oh, well said, Hal! Oh, go to it, Hal! Oh, nay, you shall find no little boys play here! I can tell you!
Oh, Harry, God, thou hast robbed me of my youth. Oh, I better brook the loss of brittle of life than those proud titles thou hast won of me. Yeah, but thoughts are the slave to life. Life's time's fool. Time, which takes a survey of all the world, must have a stop. Oh, I could prophesy, but that the cold hand of tongue is on my head. No, Percy. Oh, thou art dust and food
For worms, brave Percy. Farewell, great heart. Ill-weaved ambition. How much art thou shrunk? When that this body did contain a spirit, a kingdom for it was too small a bound, but now 2 paces of the vilest earth is room enough. This earth that bears the dead bears not alive so stout a warrior. Adieu, and take thy praise with thee to heaven, thy ignominy sleep with thee in the grave, but not remembered in thy epitaph. What? Old acquaintance! Oh, could not all this flesh keep in a little life? Oh, poor Jack! Farewell, I could have better spared a better man. Death hath not struck so fat a deer today, though many dearer in this bloody fray. Emboweled will I see thee by and by. Till then, in blood by noble Percy lie.
Emboweled? If thou emboweled me today, I'll give you leave to powder me and eat me too tomorrow. Oh, 'twas time to counterfeit. Oh, that hot, termagant Scot hath paid me Scot and lot too. Oh, counterfeit. Oh, I'm no counterfeit. To die is to be counterfeit, for he is but the counterfeit of a man who hath not the life of a man, but to counterfeit dying. Yeah, when a man thereby liveth is to be no counterfeit, but the true and perfect image. Help.
Life indeed.
Of life indeed. The better part of valor is discretion. In the which better part I have saved my life. Woo, I'm afraid this gunpowder Percy, though she be dead, how if she should be counterfeit too and rise? Okay. I'm afraid she would prove the better counterfeit. Therefore, I will make sure. Yea, and I'll swear I killed her. Oh, I mean, why may not she rise as well as I? Nothing confutes me but eyes, and nobody sees me. All right. Therefore, Sarah, with a new wound in your thigh, along come you with me. Okay.
Come, Brother John. Oh, bravely hast thou fleshed my maiden sword.
Oh.
Good soft, who have we here? Did you not tell me that this fat man was dead?
I did. I saw him dead, breathless and bleeding on the ground. art thou alive? Or is it fantasy that plays upon our eyesight? I prithee speak, we will not trust our eyes without our ears.
What?
Thou art not what thou seemst.
Oh, no, that's certain. I'm not a double man. But if I be not Jack Falstaff, well then I am a Jack. See, there's Percy. If your father will do me any honor, see, so if not, well, let him kill the next Percy himself. I look to be either a earl or duke. I can assure you.
Why, Percy, I killed myself and saw thee dead.
Oh, didst thou? Oh, Lord, how the world is given to lying. Now, I grant you I was down, out of breath, and so was she, but we both rose in an instant and fought a long hour by the Shrewsbury clock. If I may be believed, so, if not, well, let them that should reward valor bear the sin upon their own heads. I'll take't on my death that I gave her this wound in the thigh, right there. And if the woman were alive and would deny it, well, I would make her eat a piece of my sword.
This is the strangest tale that e'er I heard.
Well,
this is the strangest fellow, Brother John. Come, bring your luggage nobly on your back. For my part, if a lie may do thee grace, I'll gild it with the happiest terms I have. The trumpets sound retreat. The day is ours. Come, brother, let's to the highest of the field to see what friends are living and who are dead.
Oh, I'll follow, as they say, for reward. Yeah, he that rewards me, heaven reward him. Oh, if I do grow great again, I'll grow less. For I'll purge and leave sack and live cleanly, as a nobleman should do. Come on, you.
Thus ever did rebellion find rebuke. Ill-spirited Worcester, did we not send grace, pardon, and terms of love to you all? And would you turn our offers contrary? Misuse the tenor of thy kinsman's trust. 3 knights upon our party slain today, a noble earl, and many a creature else, had been alive this hour, if, like a good one, thou hadst truly borne betwixt our armies true intelligence.
What I have done, my safety urged me to, and I embrace this fortune patiently, since not to be avoided, it falls on me.
Bear Worcester to death, and Vernon too.
Oh.
Other offenders we will pause upon. How goes the field?
The noble Scot, Lord Douglas, when he saw the fortune of the day, quite turned from him, the noble Percy slain, and all her men upon the foot of fear fled with the rest. And falling from a hill, he was so bruised that the pursuers took him. At my tent, the Douglas is. And I beseech your grace I may dispose of him.
With all my heart.
Then, Brother John of Lancaster, to you this honorable bounty shall belong. Go to the Douglas and deliver him up to his pleasure, ransomless and free. His valor shewn upon our crests today hath taught us how to cherish such high deeds, even in the bosom of our adversaries.
Then this remains, that we divide our power, you, son John, and my cousin Westmoreland, towards York, shall bend you with your dearest speed to meet Northumberland and the prelate Scroop, who, as we hear, are busily in arms. See that tomorrow in Henry IV Part 2. Myself and you, son Harry, my dear Harry, will toward Wales to fight with Glendower and the Earl of March. Rebellion in this land shall lose his way, meeting the check of such another day. And since this business so far is done, let us not leave till all our own be won.
Denise, the first part of Henry IV with the life and death of Henry surnamed Hotspur. Oh no, Lauren's saying great stuff and is muted.
Oh, I'll say it again. That's okay. Yay. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. We've had a great time so far, and there's so much more fun ahead of us. So please join us for the rest of the weekend. If you have a few, battery's low. That's what happens when you do a long show. If you have a few ducats to throw in the buckets, awesome. If not, that's totally okay too. We just appreciate you coming and playing with us. So have a wonderful night, and we'll see you either this weekend or when we're back out in the